Hi everyone! So today I'm going to be making pastillas, aka milk candy, and this is one of the traditional dessert that we like to make in my country. And in here I actually decorated everything. Originally it looks like this. Pastillas do look like that. Some people make it look cylinder, but I like to play with shapes. So that's what I did, and I amped it up a bit by adding some various toppings. And if you guys want to know how to do this, then just keep on watching. So these are the basic ingredients that you're going to be using. So the first thing that we have here is actually we're going to be using powdered milk. You can use any brand that you like, and then we will also be using a condensed milk. And then for the last ingredient is sugar. Now on a big bowl, I will be pouring in the powdered milk. Now I didn't pour everything because I didn't know how much I will make. So I just poured some, and then I also added in the condensed milk. Once again, I didn't pour the whole can just because I wasn't so sure of the consistency yet. So I gradually added in the condensed milk, and then I'm gonna mix it. And I find that that's too dry, so I added in more of the condensed milk. And then I poured in the rest of the powdered milk. All in all, I used the 330 grams of powdered milk. So now that's what it looked like. I added in more condensed milk just because I felt like it was so dry and stiff. So I added in more. Now some people would settle for this kind of consistency or this kind of mixture just because this is way easy to manipulate or to mold later on. And usually when they make pastillas here, they make it dry and thick. But with my version, I actually like to add in more condensed milk so that it will have this kind of consistency right here. So you can see it more. This is considered to be wet when you make pastillas just because I made mine more of a kind of like a gelato kind of consistency, as you guys can see there. And so if you don't want your mixture to be just like mine, don't add a lot of condensed milk. But I prefer mine to be like this because it's more gooey and awesome to eat. And then of course after that we'll be rolling it into a ball, and then we're gonna be dipping it onto the sugar. But this is just I'm just giving you an option, which I'm going to be showing you later on, but these are just options for toppings. So in here you can actually add some sprinkles, and you know, just a substitute if you don't want to stick with a traditional sugar. You can actually use sprinkles such as those things, or you can actually use some milk and dark chocolate chips just for add-ons. And also you can use some kisses, which I am going to be using later on, and also some caramels. Now if you want to add some flavoring to this, you can absolutely use the McCormick flavorings, which as you can see, you can use the banana, the melon, the buko pandan flavor, you guys have to try that out, the ube, and then the strawberry. Because I made the consistency of my pastillas a bit more of like a gelato kind of mixture, I ended up putting it on the freezer for about 2 minutes just so that it will harden a bit, so it'll be easier for me to mold later on. And then I will be using olive oil to just lather all over my hands and fingers so that it would be easier for me to mold it later on. And you could also use powdered milk. I just formed that pastillas into a ball, and then I coated it with sugar. Now this is the traditional way of making it, so that's what it looks like right there. A lot of people like it in a cylinder shape, but I like to form them as balls because it's more festive, and I also even made hearts out of it. Now taking another set of pastillas, and then I will be molding it into a ball. And then I'm gonna press it down just to flatten it. And then I'm gonna kind of like shape it into a square. And then I'm gonna take that caramel, I'm gonna put that in the middle, press that down, and then what I'll do is I will cover the sides of the caramel with the pastillas. And I'm kind of make it look like it's kind of like a dumpling or a shawmai. That's the first thing that came into my mind, a shawmai. So just wrapping that around, leaving the top part of the caramel exposed. Now that's what it looks like. I didn't smooth out the edges to really have that shawmai dumpling texture. So I'm gonna take another set of pastillas, gonna mold it into a ball, and then I'm gonna flatten that out just like that, and then I am going to put the kisses on top, and that's just gonna make it look like it's a cookie, like a pastillas kisses cookie. Don't they look just pretty? And these taste really good. I actually didn't add any sugar to this just because it would be too much, it would be too sweet, so I settled in for that. So the next one is I am going to be adding some melon flavor to the pastillas. I'm just gonna be mixing it. There you go, and once again I'm going to mold it, and I'm gonna mold it into little balls. And in here, actually, you know what, I was aiming to have this pebble kind of look, so I kind of flattened it a little bit, just a little bit, so that it doesn't look like a legit ball. So, and on top I also added in some gold sprinkles, and now that's what it looks like. And this tastes really good. I really like the melon flavor. And then I made another flavor, which that's actually a strawberry flavor. I just added in some strawberry flavoring to the pastillas, and that's what it looks like. Now what I'm doing is I'm making it into a rectangular shape, and then once that's done, I'm going to cut that in the middle, right there, to form a little square. And from there, I will be adding the chocolate and milk chips on top. And I'm gonna make them as a border, because you have to think of this as a picture frame. And then in the middle, I actually added in the green sprinkle, so I just sprinkled that on top, and now that's what it looks like. I also made another design, and you can really go crazy with the design, so just customize it in that way. So yeah, and then the next one is I actually added in some buko pandan flavor, which you guys have to try out because it tastes amazing. And from in here, once again, gonna form that into a ball. And after that, instead of rolling it into a sugar, I'm gonna dip that and roll that in to the sprinkles, which is actually just sugar as well. It's just that it has color, so it's colored sugar. So yeah, I'm gonna roll that in. And I also roll the other one into the silver sprinkles, and I formed it into a shape of a square. It's kind of like a pillow square. So that's what it looks like right there. So that is our finished look. I hope you guys like this and found this helpful, and if you want more videos such as this, how-to videos, leave me a comment below. And also please give this video a thumbs up if you like it or if you enjoyed it. And you guys have to seriously make this because it tastes great and it's really fun to make, and it's very easy, by the way, and you will need just a few things. And please don't forget to give it a thumbs up if you like it, and I will see you on my next video. Bye!